Okay, this video is going to take us through how to make the inputs for the Atlas maps. And this one is, so the maps we have are context, DEM, existing riparian vegetation, existing vegetation suitability, flow accumulation, historic riparian vegetation, historic vegetation suitability, land use, slope. And that brings us back to context. So I'll start with the context map. Then I will just take one of these others, or actually I guess two, to show you how to make those, because they are all pretty much similar. So what I say for one will apply for the others as well. Let's go into ArcMap. And I have my BRAT run here, but I used input separately than my final run. So first I'm going to start with the context. These are all vector files, so I'll turn on the canals, roads, valley bottom. There's no railroads for this one, so I don't need to worry about that. I am going to go in here and look at this, make sure these colors match. So you're going to have RGB 69, 216, and 69. So I'm going to come in, here, go more colors. I've already done this, enter that. I'm going to give it a slight outline so we can see those areas where the valley bottom is just super thin a little better, and hit OK. Also, my roads, you might have the roads come in at different colors. I'm just going to do them all black, 0.8. Canals and railroads. The canals you might need to check also. More colors, make sure this is, let's see, click on here, and that one's going to be 0 to 55, 197. That's good. Okay, export as an AI. Open it up, and you can just Control C, bring it over here, Control 0, Control V, and I like to bring it in with the watershed outline just so I can make sure that it is lined up there. But I've already done that, so I'll just delete. You want your valley bottom on the bottom. Next layer will be your roads. The top will be your canals. And then the next thing you will do, you can come in to, I guess, while I have this up, we want this Creative Commons, and that can be found under Joe's Figures, CC Watermarks. You can grab one of those and open up an Illustrator, copy and paste it over. Generally, I would put this below my legend, but with these islands, my layout's a little weird. I may change this layout, but right now it seems right there is just the best place for it. Then your Joe Figures, you can go to Building Blocks, Common Legends, open up, you can go here, just hit open, it'll open it right into Illustrator. Looks like this. Just grab the legend that you want, copy and paste it, move it where you want it, put a rectangle, and when you do that, your rectangle may be hollow. You can click on this. The easiest way, I think, is to just click that, then hit no stroke, and it will be on top. So you want to go arrange, so that's right click, arrange, send to back. Make sure it's actually, whoops, accidentally created a new rectangle. Make sure it's actually in your legend when you make it, so highlight your legend and then make your rectangle, send it to back, and that should be all for that one. Next we'll do land use. So come in here. I think the layer package will generally have a transparency. I would change that to 0. Turn these off. Oops. Export this, as we talked about the other rasters, as a PNG. Bring it in, just copy and paste it. Then for all of these raster ones, you will turn off this clipped base map. There's too much going on when we have it on. Things don't show up as well. And then Hillshade should stay the same, but change the transparency to 50%. Bring your legend in. And that's all for those. So that will apply to all of your other input maps besides the existing and historic riparian vegetation. As you can see, there's just not a lot of riparian in a lot of these. So if they have a transparency, they will not show up at all. So the only difference would be to have no transparency on your riparian vegetation maps. The final thing that I maybe should mention is I like to add my main creeks. Some of the watersheds I would just do the rivers for this. Talked about labeling those main creeks, so I would do that. I would grab those same creeks that I did from the NHD flow. I'd go open attribute table, select the ones that I want, and just whatever here. Equals, select those. Not actually using these, but just an example. Data, export data, and then I use this Cretan blue, width of 1, and use that for these creeks. And I'd put that on all of my atlas, in all my input maps. Yeah. For the intermediate atlas maps, most of those are actually the flow lines, so you don't need it except I think for the inputs. So there you have it. That is how I do the atlas maps.